Today we're going to be talking about how to properly use detail spray on your car. You basically want to use detail spray when your car is just dusty or it has some light finger smudges or fingerprints on it. You never really want to use detail spray on a really dirty car. That could cause, micro scratches and swirl marks in your paint, which you don't want to do. So detail spray is lubrication, to lift the dirt, dust, fingerprints away. You don't want to be rubbing that in onto your paint. You want to be as light and gentle as possible. I would recommend to use detail spray. Let's say if you washed your car and you're trying to get it ready for a show, and it's not necessarily dirty, but it's not really clean because you washed it yesterday and it has some dust on it. That's basically when you want to use detail spray. So right now this car is dusty. It's not really a candidate for a wash or a rinseless wash. I just want to make it look good. So I'm going to show you today how to properly use detail spray without scratching your car, causing swirl marks or anything like that. So what you want to do is, one of the most important things before we get into it is the most common mistake is you have to use clean microfiber towels. And what I mean by clean is not one that's been sitting in your car and you just use it to wipe down your car and you've been using it for a few weeks. That is not clean. That is dirty. Just because it looks clean, it appears clean, having it sit out open, it accumulates dirt, dust. You picked up dirt and dust before and it sits in the pile. You don't want to be rubbing that on your paint. That's how you get swirl marks and scratches. So that's not what you want. You want to use a fresh towel every single time. You want to, wash them. After I'm done with this towel and that towel, I'm going to be putting it in my dirty towel bin, and I'm going to do laundry, and you cycle through that. For some people, that's going to be a little bit unrealistic. However, if you care about swirls and scratches, that's just the way it is. So what you want to do is you want to be liberal with the product. You want to apply it wet. You don't want to drag anything or have friction or dry whatever that's on the paint, and you don't want to rub that onto the surface. So you want to use this wet because you need lubrication. So wet your towel. You don't want to apply any pressure. Applying pressure isn't going to get the car cleaner or shinier. Work in straight lines, not circular motions. And one of the biggest problems with detail spray that I see the guys at the car show is they have one towel, and once it gets saturated with product, it's going to leave streaks, especially if it's hot outside and the sun is beaming on the car, and I don't know if the camera's picking up, but there's streaks on the car right now. This is going to dry on the car and it's going to look horrible. That's not what you want. I consider myself a professional, and if I try to make a streak-free finish with this towel, I cannot do it. No matter how hard I try, I cannot do it. So you always want to have the wet application towel and then the buff-off towel, just to buff off any streaks. And this is completely dry, and you could see I'm completely buffing off all the residual streaks. And that is how you get a streak-free finish with detail spray or SprayWax. So, once again, and you always constantly want to inspect your towel to make sure there's not any gunk or junk on it. You always want to fold your towel in 4s, so that way you have 8 sides. So after I'm done with that square, I can use this square, and then those 2 squares, and then I can flip it over and then do it again on this side. So again, we're going to spray a wet application and spray the towel. And what I like to do when I'm using detail spray, if the car is a little bit on the dustier side and the paint is in really good condition, I don't want to scratch it, I go like this and I lift the towel up and I spray detail spray in it for extra lubrication. So if there's any dirt or dust, my towel and my spray is lubricating the dirt, and then my towel is picking it right up. Spray some in here. Flip to this side. My towel is getting wet. I'm going to take my dry towel and buff off the residual streaks. Now the detail spray I'm using is a Wolfgang Uber rinseless concentrate, diluted at detail spray ratio. As a professional, I go through so much detail spray. It's really not money-wise smart to keep buying gallons and gallons of detail spray when all I need is, to remove dust, dirt, and it does a phenomenal job. So we have a nice slick, glossy surface that is streak-free, and we did not scratch the paint. So, bring you guys in. See how nice the car looks. There's no streaks. Car feels nice and slick from the detail spray. That's what we want. Oh yeah, that looks great. So that's basically what detail spray is used for and how to do it properly. You don't want to go too nuts on it if you are at a car show. Personally, if the car is dusty, or I'm going to leave it like that, unless you're about to get judged, of course, then you want to use detail spray. But if you are using detail spray in an outside environment, you want to use as much product as possible to lubricate any dust, dirt, debris, whatever that's in the air that's landing on the paint. You don't want to be rubbing that onto the paint. You want to be as gentle and as smooth as possible. So I'm going to be putting a link in the description for the detail spray that I'm using. I highly recommend to get it. I will also put a link for the review I did on Detailed Image. You could get a better idea of what Wolfgang Uber is if you never heard of it. It's a rinseless wash concentrate. Here I got Meguiar's Ultimate Quick Detailer. You would use it the same process. No pressure. Then buff off the streaks. Oh yeah, that feels great. Okay, I hope that answered questions about how to properly use detail spray and what it's used for, and how to get a streak-free finish, because I know that's tricky to a lot of people, especially when I go to the car shows. I see the cars filled with streaks. So back to what I was saying, I'm going to be posting a link in the description below about Wolfgang Uber, and that's what I'm using here. I'll show you guys here. This is a gallon of it. You could use it as a rinseless wash, as clay lube, detail spray, waterless wash. It all depends on how you dilute it. I use 3 ounces per gallon of distilled water. It's very, very economical. This gallon of concentrate, if I just wanted to make detail spray, I don't know, could make me like 20, 30 gallons, if not more. I'm horrible at math. It could make me a ton of detail spray, and you know, compare that to paying $30, $40 a gallon for detail spray. You know, you could see the results. It's excellent. So if you have any questions, you could reach me in the comment section below, or you could always go to the detailed image Ask a Pro blog. Have any questions, you can find me on there. So thanks for watching, guys.